Oh, hey. So I actually got back just from exploring caves in Australia's southwestern area. So I'll have a vlog about that coming up pretty soon. It's going to be kind of an extensive edit, not too bad, but stay tuned for that. So today we're going to talk about what it takes to shoot a short film of yourself by yourself. It's a lot of back and forth movements. So we're gonna specifically go over the short film I just shot for Peter McKinnon's 72-hour film challenge. It was basically my reimagined version of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and if you haven't seen that movie, it's a really good movie. I recommend you check it out. So that film was all filmed by me. I had no help, nobody else was behind the camera. It was just me. All I had with me was my Canon EOS R, my tripod that's probably 10 years old, my Rode Video Micro, and my Mavic Mini, but that was just for a couple drone shots. Wasn't totally necessary, but I felt like it brought everything together. And that was it. That was really it. Wasn't too much. Wasn't some crazy cinema rig or anything like that. It was just me and a camera and a tripod, basically. I've had too many of these mints. I've killed like a thing of mints in like a day. Don't recommend. Feels like the Ice Age was in my mouth. Okay, so when you're filming yourself, when you're making a short film of yourself or by yourself, it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of putting the camera down in one spot, doing your scene, running back to your camera, checking if that was right. You basically just keep moving the camera all over the place when you're getting those scenes. So in this short film that I made, it was a lot of me walking by the camera. So literally, I just would put the camera in one spot, hit record, run to the other side of where I'm gonna walk from, and then walk across the screen, and then run back to the camera, stop recording, make sure it looked all right. And I would just do that over and over and over again until I found that I was happy with the shot I got. One positive thing about shooting a short film by yourself for yourself is you don't have the stress of other people trying to like rush you or trying to, give their opinion. Although sometimes not sometimes, it's actually good to have a team behind you, but when you don't have a team, it does take away some of the pressure of actually having a team. So you can basically take your time with one shot, perfect it to however you feel is necessary. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm ever out shooting with somebody, I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a pressure to hurry up. You see a shot and it's like, okay, well, that's good enough. We can move on to the next one. So that's kind of like the pressure of having other people around, unless they're specifically there to film you and take your time and like they're actually like a filmmaking team. But sometimes, you just need a friend to help you record and they don't really get the whole filmmaking side of it. They're just like, yeah, that's good enough. And you feel kind of like, well, I guess so. Like I'll just move on so they don't feel like they have to wait on me. So when you eliminate those kind of stresses, you can put a lot more time into composing your shots and making it look like how you want it to look. Funny enough, with all that said, I actually did not have a lot of time to do this short film. I actually had only one day and I had a family waiting at home that needed me to go get food and all kinds of things. So I pretty much just rushed out in the morning down to the city, got the shots I needed, and then to the city park, got those shots, and pretty much tried to rush through it as fast as I could because I only had one day to shoot it, edit it, and get it sent up to Peter McKinnon's challenge. So I had to kind of cut out a lot of the things I had written down for the short film. But in the end, I think it actually turned out better. So that kind of brings me to my next point, which is sometimes you just got to compromise. When you're filming by yourself, you never know what kind of shots you can and cannot get. Like you don't have somebody filming you with a gimbal, so there's no moving shots that are moving alongside you. And you have to think about, okay, well maybe I'll have to shoot in 4K for that scene so I can crop in and kind of make a panning shot with keyframes. Or maybe like in my case where I had a scene written out that I wanted to do, but I found I didn't have enough time or the location wasn't right to do that scene. So you kind of just scratch it out and kind of like, how can I sum this scene up into a different scene or portray the same feeling from this scene that tells the story in the same way that it would, but with a different scene. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Okay, so essentially be prepared to cut out some scenes and put in some new scenes while you're out filming. You never know what might happen when it's just a one-man show. Everything is on you. You are the director, the cinematographer, the actor, well, potentially the actor if you're shooting yourself. The whole thing falls on you. So just be prepared to change things while you're out filming. Yes, it's not always the funnest thing. Sometimes you just want to have the story written, and in some cases you can write the story and it'll all work out. It just depends on your pre-production. But like I said, if you're going out and shooting and you write out a story and you write out a shot list for the most part, just be prepared to change some of those shots in case they don't work. Write down, maybe the best thing you can do is write down multiple different types of shots for one scene. So you have multiple shots to choose from for that one scene. So let's say that one shot doesn't work. Okay, I'll go to shot B and see if that works. All right, so we're gonna hop on the computer and I'm gonna show you some of the clips I got. Just raw, just basically me setting up the camera, running to get the shot, and we'll just kind of discuss what it looks like behind the scenes and how to cut it up and make it look like a coherent story. For the most part, I'm not gonna go all out. I'm gonna just basically show you the basics, and we're gonna just have a quick laugh at me setting up the camera and running around. So let's get into it. All right guys, we got Premiere open. Let's see, let's drag this clip on. Let's see what this clip's all about. So this clip actually didn't make it into the actual film, but it's good to get just as many shots as you can for your films so you don't go back and post later and realize, crap, I just needed that extra scene to make it that much better. Way better to shoot more than to shoot less, so remember that one, guys. Okay, so let's just play this. Let's see how funny this is. So I check the camera's recording like anybody would. Now I'm running across the street. I'm actually wearing my my wedding shoes, if anybody was curious, which nobody was. But yeah, I don't recommend running in these type of shoes, like these nice dress shoes, because it can really hurt your feet. It really hurt my feet the next day. For a few days, my feet were hurting because of the amount of running I did for this film in those type of shoes. So I know that's not really a filmmaking tip, but more so a fashion life tip. Okay, so the scene starts with me walking. That's where the scene would start, with me walking, and then clearly you're gonna have to see me run back to stop recording. So that's the reality of it, guys. You're running back and forth to stop and start your recording. And guys, for a scene like this, when the camera is on the other side of the street, please check your surroundings and make sure there's not going to be any people that are going to come up and run and grab your camera and then run off, because you seriously don't want to be running after them, especially in those horrible dress shoes that I had on. Yeah, you don't want your gear to get stolen. So please check your surroundings and make sure it's safe if you're going to leave your camera in a far distance, especially like across the street. So we'll move on to the next scene. So let's say this is our first scene that we're going to put into our film, although it wasn't, but just for the sake of this video. So the first scene would start with me here. I'd be walking, and yeah, I'd probably end it there. So let's see what else we got. We got this scene right here. So I'm gonna hit the record button, and I'm walking backwards. Okay, so this was where the scene would start with me walking, and it would probably end right before I look at the camera. So probably would end right there. So let's say that scene before was the first shot, and this is the second shot of me walking. So we don't want too many walking shots in, like we don't want a walking shot, and another walking shot. We can have two walking shots, and then we kind of want a transition shot, or a shot that kind of immerses us in the scene. So that's why in my film I got more of these still shots, because I kind of wanted to feel like a mundane work day, just like a kind of boring city life. So I got these shots to throw in between each one of those walking shots. And these shots are obviously easy to get. You just hit record, put it on your tripod, and record it for a few seconds, and then stop recording. Excuse me. So that's kind of what it consists of. And, just follow the narrative of your story and get a bunch of different shots so you have a lot to choose from. So you don't go back and post and you realize, crap, like I really needed that. So here's another scene I didn't use in the film, was just me walking. And then you're gonna see me do the same thing as I walk back, because sometimes you're not sure what direction or angle you might need. So it's best to hit the record button, and like if you're doing a walking scene like this, just walk both ways, because you never know what direction you're gonna need yourself walking from, because things can get really finicky in post. So boom, there you go. And yeah, you're just gonna see a lot of me just running back and forth and hitting record and then not recording. So yeah, not too much to look at here. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what it looked like behind the scenes, with me running back and forth between the camera. Let's see, let's look at another shot from the short film. We got the spinning wheel of death, whatever they call it. Okay. I had some people curious about the scene where I actually had a text bubble pop up, and all that was I went into the motion graphics tab, wherever it is. I think I gotta pull it up. Let's see. Windows, Essential Graphics. This is gonna take a minute. The computer's been running slow, guys. I'm sorry. If I could control it, I would. But okay, so I went to what website did I go to get this? Oh, I actually found it on YouTube. I'll find the guy's YouTube channel because he actually created it, and he gave us a link to use the text bubble. So basically, I would just add the text bubble where I wanted it. Let's see. Okay, that's not the right scene. Let's get the right scene in there. So here's me walking, and then the text bubble will pop up. So we'll just drag that on down, and the text bubble should pop up probably, yeah, right there. So obviously it's not in position. You'd want to position it where you want it to, but yeah, so essentially I had that text bubble come up, and you can, customize the text message and all that, and the time and the name. And I just added the sound effects to make it sound like I actually got a text. So I know this isn't how to make a text bubble tutorial, but I just thought I'd throw that in there just in case anybody was curious. So yeah, as you see, I hit record, walk backwards, get ready for the scene, and then I start walking, and I pull my phone out, check my phone. I know the text bubble is going to come up. So in my head, I'm actually pretending like I'm actually reading a text to make it, feel realistic, although I'm only really just looking at my phone screen. The phone screen probably wasn't even on. And then pretend like I'm reading that text, click the off button, and keep walking. So little things like that is like timing. So let's say you're doing a scene like that where you're reading something, but you might actually not be reading it, or if you're reading a text, just keep in mind, okay, well, what's that text message gonna say, or what's that line gonna say, and read it in your head, even if you're not actually reading it, and just so the timing feels right in post. So boom, boom. Yeah. So that's that. There's probably not too much more I want to show you guys on here. It's just more so kind of giving you an idea of what it looks like behind the scenes. Just a lot of me running back and forth, and a lot of going into post and lining it up well, making sure the scenes aren't too consecutive of my walking scenes. Let's say I'm not walking, and then cuts to another scene of me walking, and then cuts to another scene of me walking. You want to change it up and keep it interesting, and not make people bored and just dread watching your video. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video. And I know it's definitely more of a casual video. This wasn't a full-fledged tutorial. It was more so just kind of showing you guys behind the scenes of what I was doing and what it looks like to make your own little short film by yourself, for yourself. Does that make sense? For yourself, by yourself. Yeah, this video was not scripted whatsoever. That's why you may hear me mess up a lot. But that's kind of how I wanted to keep it, just kind of behind the scenes. I kind of wanted to keep the vibe of the video behind the scenes as well. Just being raw and showing you guys, what it's actually like, kind of keeping it all unscripted. I'll definitely make more of a full-fledged tutorial on how to film yourself and, have two cameras and actually, get behind the scenes of what it actually looks like from another camera's point of view. Like we just saw what it looked like from the camera A, because I didn't have another camera filming me behind the scenes. So yeah, so we'll get a full-fledged tutorial for that sooner rather than later. But yeah, once again, I just wanted to keep it kind of casual and just show you guys what I was doing and what it looked like, and just kind of have a quick laugh. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned because I got some Mavic Mini videos coming up, because I know I have some people that really like my videos that revolve around the Mavic Mini. and any kind of drone stuff. So I got some of those coming up, so stay tuned for that, as well as some more stuff on the Canon EOS R5 and the EOS R6, and also stay tuned for that killer vlog of going through caves, and just, it was really cool. It was really cool. Did I mention that? I think I mentioned that at the beginning of this video. I went through some cool caves, and it was cool. I made a vlog, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this cringeworthy video, and thank you for sticking around if you stayed this long in the video. I greatly appreciate you, because this was definitely one of my least professional videos because it was totally unscripted. But yeah, I just wanted to have some fun. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good rest of your day. Peace!